My name is Thomas Karnes. I'm the mayor of the city of Lincoln Park and the retired police chief for the city of Lincoln Park. Part of the thing, and the main thing with First Step is that people don't always know where to go for help. And so that's why it needs to be publicized. That's why this information needs to be gotten out there for that one time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, where somebody has finally gotten fed up with everything and wants to reach out for that help, and they have that information at their fingertips. Well, you come across situations where let's see, the woman feels dominated. She can't leave. They may have assaulted several times in the past, but because I would say fear of the unknown of what to do with, you have 3, 4 kids that are here. She doesn't work. She doesn't bring in any money. She doesn't have a place to live. And so if she leaves that circumstance, what's going to happen to her? What's going to happen to the kids? And ran across situations like that, but that's perfectly what First Step is for, is to show them, literally, because that is the first step to break away from that domestic violence situation. And we come across people that have been seriously injured, of course, have been to the hospital numerous times. I was a law enforcement officer for 32 years, so I have seen several instances of it. Okay. As an officer responding to domestic violence situations, you can run across it's blackened or split lip, blackened eyes, puffiness, where maybe on marks on the arms where they've been grabbed, broken bones where they've been punched or in some cases kicked. It's hard to specify how one particular injury or something. It's just that if you have somebody that is out of control and doesn't care about the safety about the other person, then what they can do to that other person to hurt them is, well, you have your citizens that are out there and they're in need. And this is a way that by having First Step in there, you're helping them. And it doesn't cost a great deal for the city. I think in Lincoln Park they receive some of our community development block grant funds, but not a tremendous amount. We're just given a safe place, a haven for victims to come in and try to change their lives for the better. A woman or man in some cases, that they've been hurt, they don't know what to do about their future, they don't have any resources on their own, and they don't have someone to help guide them through or walk them through, or not really a mentor, but they're left on their own. I mean, the police department would do what they could as a victim of a crime, but I think it ends there, because First Step does other things than just being there as an advocate in court. There are the shelter that's available to them, and then there are other resources, or I'm thinking like counseling and things that are made available to them. Because part of the beauty of First Step is it may not take on the first time. The officers go to the home, they may present a First Step card, and the victim doesn't always call the first time or take action the first time, but that card sits in the drawer, and then maybe a couple years down the road they've determined that now is the time, and they call and it's there. So if we discontinue it, that call goes unanswered, and then that lady or that man that's seeking that help isn't going to get it. Well, domestic violence touches a lot of people. I mean, there's no family out there that doesn't either have a friend or a person in the family that's been a victim of some type of domestic violence. Okay? And so you want to get this out in the open and to help these people any way that you can. But you can't help unless you take that first step. And so that's what we're glad that that First Step is a part of with our city. Lincoln Park's been proud to have them as a partner for I don't know how many years, but it goes back over 10, I would think. And they had a representative from First Step that used to come to the police department and gather information of the reports that came in on domestic violence, and they would then proceed with them to the court as an advocate, sort of thing. Well, I thought it was kind of cool, because you get into law enforcement settings in the police station or wherever, and you're a victim. It can be sort of overwhelming. You have officers here, you've just been through an assault or what, and you need to have somebody to walk you through and help you through the steps, otherwise you could get lost. And I was police chief for 8 years in the department, and I think it was during my tenure as police chief that we opened up a office for First Step inside of the community policing building. And we wanted it at the community policing building because that way the victims of domestic violence would not have to go through the police department and could go to a setting to where it'd be a little bit more comfortable, a little more private, and to where they could feel safer, I guess. But there are many ways to support First Step other than collaborating with them. You can even donate your vehicle now, as I've found out. Because I donated my vehicle to First Step last year, and then they picked it up and got a tax write-off, and everything's good. I'm a member of the organization called the Exchange Club in a couple different locations, one in Lincoln Park and one in Trenton. And what the Exchange Club does is they are a service organization whose primary cause is the prevention of child abuse, but they also do different other community service organizations help out, like First Step. And we've had First Step representatives come and present to the club, and the clubs have made donations to when the shelter on Vanoy Road was first being built. They gave money towards that and towards the playground. And then there was a new exchange club that was formed, the New Beginnings Club, which is out of the Southgate area. And they decided that it would be a good idea to have a trunk or treat at the First Step organization, because the kids that were at the shelter could not go out and trick or treat. So we decided we'd bring the trick or treat to them, or trunk or treat. So on the parking lot, club members and other volunteers would decorate their vehicles, and we would then let the kids that come out that were at the shelter get candy from each and every vehicle, but the kids that went, that visited, would each have a card, and their card would be a vote. And whoever had the most cards at the end of the day would have would get the First Step trophy, which was a skull, for trunk or treat. And we've been doing this for, I think it was 5-6 years running right now, and it's a great time.